it all started with the coaching process. So what happened to me, I really wanted to be the one that could make it happen to other people. And I really believe that I have a saying in Brazil. I say, gente de verdade, it's like real people. I believe in real people getting to know their best version to become the best leaders they can be and to really have a real and amazing impact in the context that they are.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. Before Purple Circle, I started and scaled several 7 and 8 figure career coaching businesses myself and consulted with 2 career coaching businesses that are now doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or just building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey, welcome again to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. Today, my guest is Juliana de Lacerda, a master certified executive coach and leadership specialist with over 30 years of experience developing and transforming leaders. She is the executive director and founding partner of R122, where she applies neuroscience to leadership development and also leads R122 Leader virtual ecosystem for leaders. Juliana is a published author, former professional athlete, and a true expert in shaping high-impact leadership. I'm excited to dive into her insights. Welcome to the show, Juliana.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, to be invited and to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. Juliana, tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to become an executive and leadership coach.
Good. Well, I am a former lawyer, actually. I started working as a lawyer and I was very unhappy doing it. So I started my search to know what I wanted to do very early. And after a while, I started working with searching and executives, hiring and searching executives. And I worked with Brazilians that would take MBA abroad. So I would go to the US, I would contact universities in Europe, and I would get in touch with them and really get into their lives. And it was very inspiring for me whenever I could help them think about their career and what they would be doing. And in a certain moment, I got to know about coaching. I took the coaching process myself because I was a partner of an executive search company here in Brazil, and we took a process, the three partners, and it was very funny because I started to realize that okay, so you can be a professional working, helping people become the best versions of themselves and being productive and all. So when I started doing it, I said, okay, so I'm gonna go through this path. It really inspired me in the coaching process. I realized that the thing that inspired me the most was to help people be their best version. So at that moment, I spoke to my partners and I said, well, I have to start doing it. I have to start as a coach, and I'm going to take my first course. And then it was very funny because at that moment, I realized that they didn't want me to start the coaching process in the company that I was managing. So I had to make this very difficult decision of leaving the company. I was a partner and I would have to leave the company. And it was very funny because I really said, you know what, it makes so much sense to me to work really helping people to become their best versions that I just decided to change it all. So it took me 6 months to give everything that I was taking care of to my partners, and I started my own company. So in January 2011, I started R122, my company, my coaching company. And in the beginning, I was lonely. It was a very important change for me because it was like a switch. I really turned it switch. I have a husband that is a little older than me, and I had 3 children already. No, actually, I had 3 children that weren't mine. They were his, and I had mine already. So I had 4 children, and my income was the one that was most responsible for the house income. So the change was really, really, really challenging for me. But the passion was so big, and my belief that this was the path made I have the courage to do so. So this is what inspired me to. And you know what? It was really funny because when I took the coaching process, it was funny because up to then, I was a very stressed, insecure leader. I was so much worried that people would respect me and that I would do the right thing, that I would be the right professional. I was so worried, and I had so much lack of confidence that my leadership was very unsure. It was very, like sand. And when I took the coaching process, I started to know myself. And when I started to know myself and I started to develop a self leadership, it really changed everything for me. So I understood that, wait a minute, I started to be today, a while after that, almost 15 years after that, I am a secure, coherent, super responsible, super, how do you say, sustainable leader that loves what she does. It all started with the coaching process. So what happened to me, I really wanted to be the one that could make it happen to other people. And I really believe that I have a saying in Brazil. I say, gente de verdade, is like real people. I believe in real people getting to know their best version to become the best leaders they can be and to really have a real and amazing impact in the context that they are. So that's what drove me to become a coach.
And you talked a little bit about after becoming a coach. How do you feel at like how has it evolved from the beginning to now, where you've established your coaching business to a rate that I think is feel better with it, right?
Oh, sure. Well, I'm very faithful. I mean, I have a big faith, right? So in my faith, I believe in God. So I always tell like this. I say, God, if you want me to change what I do, you have to say it loudly because this is the only thing I imagine myself doing. So one side of it is since I started, I can't see myself doing nothing else. That's what I was born to be and do. But on the other hand, having a coaching business, we have to pay our bills, right? And we have to, as I told you, in my case, my income was the main one in my place, in my home, in my family. So we can really be passionate about our career. But on the other side, the coaching market, I don't know in other places. I know in the US it's very mature, but here in Brazil it's kind of, and when I started 15 years ago, it was very, very raw. It was very raw. People wouldn't understand exactly what coaching was. And there is this, I know maybe you know about that, but here in Brazil, coaching became several different things. So coaching can be like the motivational coach that is the one that, shouts and says, well, if you do that, and shout like that and you have to be the best version of yourself and scream and everything. It became a little, people here don't really believe in that, especially people that I work with in executive realm, in leadership realm. For the average people, it worked well and it's a good tool, but not for professional coaching. So we started having this confusion in our market. So people don't know exactly what coaching is. And us with our association, which is the International Coaching Federation, which is the association I started with since the beginning, we are very responsible for educating the market. And along with educating the market, we have to have our active search to really sell the coaching as not only the right tool, but also as something that the company would benefit from, so it's not an easy thing. It's not something it's not like a marketing professional that you need. It's not like, I don't know. So yeah, and there is another thing that I think as well. I don't know how you see that, Regin, but here I see the development. We are in the realm of development, right? In executive development, professional development. And when you talk about companies developing their leaders, although it's very strategic, whenever there is a economic problem in the market or economic problem with the company, this is one of the things that will go to the end, right? So you will start to try to deal with it in your company with the people that you have. So external coaches like myself, for example, we suffer at these moments. So as I started, there were several things that I had to face. First of all, the lack of knowledge and the lack of understanding of the difference between coaching and coaching, the thing that I told you about. Also, having to present myself as an executive coach and who I was and who the company was. And I started very lonely. I spent 2 years and a half by myself. I continued my education looking for courses certified by ICF. And I also went to the neuroscientific path. So I started to study a lot about neurosciences to understand about the brain and how it works and how we can. And I started building my own practice based on these two things, on coaching competencies like ICF competencies and also on neuroscience. So my practice was based on that. And after I was 2.5 years working by myself, I started bringing people in with me. Some of them I already knew, and they wanted to become coaches. And I started forming them and developing them. And they started going to the same courses I took and started to go into the same paths I took. And so these were all the things that, took me like from 1 to 5 years. These were the main challenges I had. And also in 2013 to 2015, more or less, we had a very big crisis in Brazil. And I wasn't a seasoned coach. So it was very hard for me during that moment to continue being focused in what I believed. So these are some of the challenges I went through.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And do you feel that the market in Brazil right now is more used to the idea of coaching, or is that something that is a challenge there?
I think, well, you have some companies, as I work with companies, I work with executive coaching. I see that when you have companies, they're more mature in terms of development. Coach is a given. So they hire coaches, they know about coaching, they know about professional coaching. Sometimes they have to make their decisions, like the choices. Am I going to hire a coach, or am I going to hire a training? What am I going to hire? But they know about that. But I would say, and this is a total guess, but I would say about 10% of companies in Brazil really do invest in development, right? So they are very mature in terms of development. I even have one of my biggest and most important clients is Suzano. Suzano is the biggest, how do you say it's a paper pulp? How do you say it? I forgot the name. It's the paper. Yeah, it's the pulp of the paper, I forgot the name.
Okay.
They are the biggest company. Yeah, it's pulp,
Yeah.
pulp something.
Okay.
They can't see this podcast. They're going to be mad at me. But yeah, they are the biggest company in this, and they are very mature in terms of development. For them, coaching is a given. Every kind of, whenever they do like a development individual plan, they bring a coaching in and say, you're going to be going through a coaching process and all. But I would say like 80-90% of I would say that from, I don't know, about 40% of the company has a more or less mature development mindset. So they hire kind of, if it's possible, we will hire, it makes sense, but not so much. And then you have like 50%, if I'm right here, but 50% of the market that is, they don't know about it. And this is a wild guess.
Mm-hmm.
That's super wild guessing here.
I wanted to ask you also, where do you currently find your clients, and what is your target audience that you mostly are working with?
I target leaders within companies. As I told you in the beginning, I not only see R122 as only as a company, and I don't only see coaching as a profession. I see everything that I do as a mission, really. So I really believe that if we help leaders to become their best versions, to become real people, as I told you, and if they start to lead from a self-leadership perspective, from a different way of understanding how they function, how people function, how to really manage themselves, they can really make a difference. So my target are leaders within companies, and leaders, especially if I can work with leaders that have a big impact on people, on the company, and everything. These are my preferred ones. And I don't know if you ask me that, or if you will ask me that, but I will go that way. How do I manage to find them? Well, my profile, I am a very relational person. I wouldn't say that I am not an extrovert. I'm not the person that goes into a room and that talks to everybody about anything. No, I'm not like that. But I am very relational. I have strong values. So I establish my relationship with people based on very strong values of loyalty, of partnership, of sharing, of openness, of vulnerability, of really being together, really trying to live what I told you about being real people and dealing with real people. And it kind of helps me to, people talk about me one to the other, so it's mouth to mouth. One of the ways it happens, I talk to the people that work with me. I encourage them to do the same, to really establish relationship with people. This is very, and I would tell you that this is one of my main ways of developing leads. The other thing is that we have one person in our boutique because it's very small, our company still. We have a person here that develops the market, that goes to, people that we don't know or that we have like at LinkedIn and so on, and try to talk to them and offer our services. And some people just want to talk to us and try our services. And it usually goes very well, thank God.
Hmm.
So these are the main two ways that we do it.
Is there a specific tactic that you are aware of that is being used currently on LinkedIn to reach out to new people?
You know what? I am not the best commercial person. And I do know that coaches in general tend to professional coaches. Again, let me go back a little. Remember that I told you about the motivational coaches? These guys are the best. They sell like water. They are amazing. We that go, in this path of a more professional and technical coaching, we don't know how to sell. We are not sellers. And so, what I understand today, again, my power is to really be a reliable person. And I know that companies, HRs, leaders, they want to work with a person and a reliable company. This is my strength. But again, at this very moment, we are trying to work with algorithms and, with automations to help us broaden our network and to try to reach more people. So this is what we are doing right now. I don't have the results yet, but this is something new for us that I obviously believe it's going to help, because it's more people to get to know the way we work. And obviously we know the 10% rate and so and so.
Thanks so much for sharing. Do you have goals that you are working for the next 1 to 3 years?
Totally. Yeah. Right now, we have a leadership platform. It's called R122 Leader, as you started talking about in the beginning. We see leadership, Regin, as a tripod. We see like leadership starts in self-leadership. It goes to systemic leadership, and then it goes to people leadership. And when we talk about people leadership, it's not only about team leadership, it's about communicating, it's about negotiating, it's about establishing alliances and everything else. So we have today this platform. It has lots of courses, and really we have one of the trails we have. It's an executive leadership trail, and it goes through this tripod. And we have like very, very deep classes with complementary material, that's from videos to articles to studies to tools. And if somebody gets in this platform and really focuses and does it as it has to be done, this person will make a leap in the leadership. This will happen. So this is what we are working on. And I really focus on expanding and improving this in the next years. And to be honest with you, I really believe that the platform also, today we are focusing on in Brazil, but in the future, I don't know, I want to expand it and maybe, have partnerships in other places. I really hope it happens. If you are interested, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
But this is our focus, and again, expanding our coaching business as we do today, right?
What are some resources or support that's been most valuable in you growing your coaching business since at least maybe even on the beginning where you had to do that switch
Uh-huh.
or even today?
I don't know if I'm the best model for that, because I am not, although I interviewed and selected and recruited high potential executives for almost 10 years and know a lot about understanding how well a person does a job and deals with business and everything. I am not a business driven person. I am totally passionate about human development, about everything that I told you. So I would say that my superpower, again, is to be really focused on a mission. And this mission is what kept me, on the track for almost 15 years. And things are working well. If I was a business driven person, maybe they would work way better. you know, I need business people by my side, and I don't have it. So my motto for people, the bright side of this is that even when you are a business person and you know how to do a business well, I think that when you are working as a coach and you really believe in others' development, I really understand, as of my experience, that it's like a calling. It's almost like a calling. You're here to serve. You're here to help people. Every time I finish a process and people tell me and they say, well, Ju or Juliana, people call me Ju very easily. And they say, Ju, I am so thankful because it really changed me and it changed my life and it changed the way I saw me. And today I feel way more secure, coherent in a place of leadership that I never thought I would be. You have no idea how amazing this is for me. So again, it makes you more resilient, because it's worthwhile.
Yeah, it's a real driver to keep doing this, especially knowing the impact that you can have on others. And once you
Yeah.
impact them, they impact others as well in the company, just working with you. What is something that you
May I
wish you
say,
had?
may,
Hmm.
may I say just one more thing?
Sure.
It's very important about this is that although I feel very fulfilled when I see people saying what I told you, I'm very pragmatic and I understand that we have a company that needs results and everything. But what's best about it is that whenever this person gets more mature and gets in a place of self-conscious and self-development and everything and in their best place, it's so good for the company. It's so good production for their, results and everything. So it's a win-win situation. It's the best thing that can happen. Again,
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's what I was saying. Basically, you're impacting the company indirectly through working with the executive
yeah.
or the leader yourself. I wanted to ask you, what is something that over the years of being a coach that was kind of like an unexpected lesson learned? What is something that you wish you had known when you first started your coaching business?
Well, for starters, as I told you, I needed more business acumen. I don't have it. I still don't have it. But again, I think, right from the beginning, what maybe I wanted to do as a coach, as a professional coach, maybe not thinking about the business, but thinking about the coach per se, it's having a supervisor. It's amazing having a supervisor. We have it and we do as a group here in R122. Our supervisor, he helps us to really increase our self-understanding and our become the best coaches we can to our clients.
Hmm.
So this is one thing. Because I am a person that really believes in learning and lifelong learning, I don't know at the top of my head, I don't know something else that I could tell you. We
Hmm.
need business acumen. We need to sell. We need to know how to sell. And I still struggle with that. So this is still a lesson that I didn't learn. I know that I have to do it, but I still struggle with that.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying automation. I'm trying algorithms. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's always a learning curve. So there's always something that you're suffering with. So be that lead generation or sales or even getting constant results for your clients, there's always going to be some struggle. Even if you were to fix lead generation, then you'd have a problem in sales because you'd get more leads that you had to convert. So the conversion would go
Yeah,
down.
right.
So it's like the bottleneck is constantly going to move from one place to the other. And then once you have a lot of sales, you have to make sure that you're giving results to all of these people. There's always a bottleneck to work on. Apart from sales that you've mentioned, do you also feel that lead generation is also another challenge? Or like if you were to think about what is stopping you from having the coaching business that you have right now, what is that one biggest challenge that is holding you from scaling your coaching business?
I think it's about selling. I think it's about lead, as you said, lead prospect and about pitching. It's about pitching. Again, people don't know exactly what coaching is. And when they do, we don't have Roy, right? We can't,
Hmm.
we have some people in the market that try to work with Roy. There is a lady, she gave a lot of lectures for ICF. I don't remember her name, but she worked a lot with the Roy concept. But it was so difficult. Yeah, you had to bring your client into so much commitment to fulfilling a lot of information in the beginning, in the middle, in the end. That was difficult for the client to commit and really check the ROI at the end of the process. So I understand that today, if we had a way of, prospecting clients better, pitching better, and especially bringing an easier process to bring Roy to the table, I think this whole process would be easier.
Hmm.
And I don't even know, like somebody wants to start an app that brings Roy to coaching, it is really going to work. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yeah, that did answer my question for sure. We're getting more into a closing question right now. What advice would you give to other, is going to be career coaches that are going to watch this, other career coaches that are
Sure.
looking to scale their impact?
Yeah. Well, again, maybe there are going to be some coaches here that will have different perspectives on the job and everything. thing, I would really say that I remember some cases, and Regin, maybe you do too, people that we know, such as Steve Jobs, for instance, that had several no's before he had the yes that changed the world, right? And we have several stories in this way. Whenever you start as a coach, there will be several no's, several no's. And you really have to believe in what you are doing. Again, I believe this is a kind of a calling. This is not a profession that you come into because you're going to become rich overnight. You're not. So my advice would be believe in what you were doing and be resilient because of the impact you may reach, in people's lives and society, diversity and inclusion and everything. But when you help a person being their best version and really become somebody that makes a difference in their context, you are helping the world to be a better place. Again, being pragmatic. I know that love doesn't pay bills. We have to, when we are starting, we have to be careful about this. We have to sometimes do things that we don't want to do. We want to be 100% focused on coaching. But for you to be resilient, you really have to believe in the vision that you establish. This would be my advice because this has been working for me. As I told you, I wouldn't know of something else to do in my life. So this would be my advice.
Thank you so much, Juliana. And for anyone who wants to reach out to you or wants to connect with you, they can find you on your LinkedIn, Juliana de Lacerda Camargo, or for anyone that is an English speaker or that might confuse this because I was pronouncing your name in Brazilian. Some people might read that as Juliana.
Sure.
So yeah, you'll find her on LinkedIn. We'll also link her into the description of this podcast as well. So thank you so much, Juliana.
Thank you, Regin. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. To learn more about Purple Circle, our community, and how we can help you grow your business, visit joinpurplecircle.com.